Hello, my name's Mandy Chapman. I'm one of the organisers of the BAWP Awards. This is our 30-year anniversary, so I thought I'd catch up with an old friend. We both joined the Metropolitan Police in 1983. I stayed as a PC for 30 years and my friend took a slightly different path, so I thought I'd catch up with her today and see how she is. So Chris, what's it like to be the first female commissioner of the Metropolitan Police in its 188-year history?
Well, I think I'm in the best job in the world, Mandy. I'm so happy. I'm working with fantastic people. There's a lot to do, but having been out of policing for 2 years, I've come into a Met and into national policing at quite a busy time. Been here only 8 weeks, and a lot has happened in that time with the 3 ghastly terrorist attacks in the last 10 weeks and all sorts of other operational challenges. But what I found is an amazing bunch of people, not just in the Met but across the country. I do think we've got the best police service in the world, so to be leading the Met is an incredible privilege.
Oh, very much. We obviously met at Hendon in '83. I always think if you could go back and speak to yourself then, give yourself some advice, what would you advise yourself then?
Well, you and I used to play squash,
Oh.
and I think if I'd been slightly more purposeful about my training, I could have been better at squash. But it was something that I absolutely loved, and the thing I would have to say to myself now, if I was back there, is just make sure that you do as much of the things you really love as you possibly can. And the second thing is, it's a cliche, but the time goes incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
So make the most of it and enjoy every minute.
If I could give you some advice, I'd say let your friend win every now and again. But you've inspired so many people, including myself. But throughout your career, who's inspired you? Who are your role models?
There are just too many to count. There really are. From the day I started policing, I've worked with people in all kinds of roles. Who some leaders, some not. Who I've looked at and thought, oh, if I could take a bit of that, or if I could be a bit more like them, I would be better. And I still do that all the time, and I'm still trying to improve and spotting people who are much better at things than I am. I think one quality that I have found incredibly important in people is the ability that some people have to encourage others. And I've been so supported and so encouraged by some people, and I've been inspired by a huge range of people, but in particular I would say some of the pioneers, and at the risk of being sycophantic, you're one of those. Breaking through into the dog handler world just before you and I started. Women couldn't be dog handlers.
That's right. Yeah.
Because I seem to remember, amongst other things, we weren't strong enough and we didn't have a wife.
That's correct. Yeah.
There
that was
you
on
go.
the application form.
Things have changed, but my generation, this generation of police people, stands on the shoulders of the giants that went before, and pioneers in particular, people who broke through, people who wouldn't say no. Or wouldn't take no for an answer. I mean, people who fought when things were unjust or unfair, and people who were just incredibly good at their jobs when perhaps the other people thought they wouldn't be able to do that job, or they wouldn't be that good at that job. So I think those are the people who inspired me most.
Brilliant, because obviously you were our president at BAWP for many years. What were your highlights in that time, your work with BAWP?
So what I loved about BAWP, and I'm sure it's still the same now, is that those who kind of founded it, founded an ethos which has carried on, of breaking across ranks, roles, specialisms, forces, whoever you are, you have something to bring, and whoever you are, we want to listen to you. Whoever you are in how you're labelled in the organisation, we really don't care. What are you going to bring to the party? And then secondly, I think it has been a fantastic source of support to so many people. And I certainly found it so whenever I was at any meeting or whenever I met friends and colleagues from BAWP. It's a very supportive environment, and the networks one builds and the insights one can get through BAWP, I think, are vital. In concrete terms, in the time I was there, I think some things moved forward in a very positive way, thanks to lots of hard work by others. And in particular, I think, Gender Agenda 3, building on Gender Agenda 1 and 2, has had a big influence in the policing world and actually beyond the policing world as well.
Yeah, very much. You did a lot of work around that and really took it nationally, just because of the way you were and your particular network and connections as well. So, and that work goes on to this day. We're still part of the body armour working group nationally and fitness testing and everything else. So it does go on. What's the most important thing you've learnt about yourself during the last 34 years?
Goodness.
Can't make it too easy.
I guess I've learnt that I'm pretty resilient, but that you can always work at becoming more resilient, and I think it's important in the modern age, not just as a leader, not just when you're being sort of hugely scrutinised or when you're making high risk decisions, as lots of police people are, but just for everybody really. Life can be quite challenging and quite demanding, and one can, and I think I have on occasions, made myself kind of more resilient, and I just feel very, 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 very lucky, very privileged, and very happy. And I think when you set out on life, you don't know how your life will turn out, and I know that I'm very privileged.
Would you do anything differently?
Oh my goodness. No doubt, thousands and thousands of things. I mean, there's one part of me that says never have any regrets. What's the point in regretting anything? I could have, for example, within policing, I know that I could have followed 50 different career paths and still been very happy, because I love policing. I think it's endlessly interesting. I think the people are great. I think the opportunities you get are wonderful. I mean, one day I'll grow up and stop thinking, I wonder if I could be a dog handler. I wonder if I could be a custody officer again. I wonder if I could be at the scenes of crime officer. What about mounted? I sometimes catch myself thinking, I'm actually now 56 years old and I've got quite a big job that I'm going to do, I hope, for the next 5 years. But I'd have been very happy doing lots of other things as well.
Fantastic. I'm glad you pointed out you're older than me. It's been brilliant speaking to you. Thanks for taking the time. It's immensely busy at the moment, but you've taken the time, and your work with BAWP carries on, I know, in the background. And we'd also like to thank you for getting Dee Collins to be our president. She's doing a super job, so we thank you for that as well. But you say we stand on the shoulder of giants. I know you'll be cross, but you're one of those who is inspired throughout. Don't blush. I'll do blushing for both of us, but you've inspired throughout, and I want to thank you for taking the time and for everything you have done.
Thanks very much, Mandy.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks. So I'm really sorry that I'm not at the BAWP conference this year. I hope you will understand that just a few weeks into my job, and Mandy and I are meeting a few days after the horrendous attack in Borough Market, I can't be there, but I do wish you all the very, very best for a fantastic conference. I send you all my love. Look forward to seeing you, many of you old friends, and meeting you in the future, in the next several months and years, I hope. And in particular, all the very best to Dee, a wonderful president, and the committee of BAWP. The work is really important. The conference is always great and has gone from strength to strength, I think, each year. So I just hope you have a fantastic time over the next couple of days, and really have lots and lots of fun, because out of the fun that can happen at a conference like that can come so much good. Thanks very much. Good luck.